right. Good afternoon, everybody.
I've been working there.
So, everybody on this side of the room, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, wonderful. Thank you all for being here. My name is Ken Clauda. I am the Chief of the Fire Prevention Bureau with the State Fire Marshal's Office. We are here today, as I've already talked to the students, to discuss sprinkler systems and how well they work, and the difference between a sprinkler room versus an unsprinkled room, and how you need to be able to get out from that room, stay out, and know what you need to do if something were to happen and your smoke alarm or any other system that you have in your building starts activating. So the first thing I'd like to do is bring my boss up, Marshall Reardon, let him talk to you all real quick. Just let him introduce himself, and then we'll get some additional people here.
All right, thank you. If I go fast, we can be done by 4. No. I just want to take a chance to thank the City of Findlay, the Fire Department, the Mayor, thank you for being here, the University of Findlay, and of course the National Fire Sprinkler Association. We could not do this type of work, this type of demonstration, without the support of local communities and obviously the Sprinkler Association. Once you see this demonstration, you will visually see the difference between a room that has a sprinkler head in it and a room that does not. And it's very dramatic, it's very powerful, and the key takeaway from there is, remember, sprinklers save lives. They save lives all the time, wherever they're installed, wherever they're maintained, they save lives. So without much further ado, I'm going to turn things back over to Chief Clauda, and we can get this thing going.
Thank you, Marshall. Chief Everly from the Findlay Fire Department is here. He'd like to also just introduce himself and thank you guys for being here.
Hey, welcome, students. My name is Josh Everly. I'm Fire Chief here in the City of Findlay. I want to echo some of the statements that were said already. Thanks to the Fire Marshal's Office, the Sprinkler Association, and the University of Findlay for this collaboration. We've never done anything like this for the RAs, so you guys are kind of our inaugural group for this. So from a firefighting standpoint, a couple things to remember is the best fire is one that doesn't start. So take fire prevention seriously. Smoke alarms are the fastest way to find out about a fire. Sprinkler heads are the fastest way to put water on a fire. So, if you guys do the things that you're supposed to do, we won't ever have to see this thing work in action. So thank you guys for being RAs and RDs out there. Thank you all for taking safety seriously, watching out for your other students. And again, thank you to the Fire Marshal's Office, Sprinkler Association, and the University of Findlay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll get things started. And the first side we're going to ignite and we're going to set the fire on is our sprinkler side. As I said to all of the students that are here, you're going to find out how quickly the sprinkler system is actually going to activate on this. Okay? So what we're doing is simulating a fire in a waste paper basket. This could be anything from a discarded cigarette. This could be anything from an overloaded cell phone that accidentally got put in there and it's going to get warm. There's a whole bunch of different things that could happen. So once we get this started and the fire actually ignites, it's not going to take that long for this to burn. And it's not going to take very long for the sprinkler head to activate. So right now I can see a little bit of smoke. Okay? Smoke is in the back there. It's crawling up that curtain. We already have that smoke alarm activation. This would be your signal to get out of the room. You see that it's crawling up the side of that curtain. And within about 45 seconds, that sprinkler head is activated. That sprinkler head activates about 155 degrees. The sprinkler itself puts out water at about 13 gallons a minute. And it controls that fire very well. At this point in time, your fire department would be notified and would be on their way. Typically, it takes 5 to 7 minutes for a fire department to respond to a fire. And that's nationwide average. Once they get there, they've got to set up all their equipment. They've got to put on their SCBA. They've got to get their hose dragged out. That's adding extra seconds. Right now, that fire's pretty well controlled. We're going to let it keep going for a little bit longer. All right, now your fire department's arrived. They're going to coordinate to be able to make sure that that sprinkler head is disconnected and there's no more water so that when they go in and start mopping up the fire, they're not getting themselves soaking wet and wearing their gear down even more. So they just shut off the sprinklers. Now they're looking underneath. They're going to check under the bed because the fire was starting back on. They knew where the fire started. That's not always the case. They're going to have to get in there and just investigate the room and focus on the kitchen's fire. While they're doing this, remember the important thing to do is to close that door behind you whenever you leave. Okay? Because what that does, as they said when you were in your training, it will keep that fire contained in that room. It will allow that fire to be starved of oxygen, which is what it needs to continue to burn. So now they're going to go ahead and check for any of the remaining fire. They're using a water can to put out this fire, which again is much less water than this fire hose that you see on the ground. And if they're not able to do it with that water can, guess what? They have a fire hose right here ready to go, and they'll be able to make sure they knock that fire down completely. So I have a question for the students that are here. How many of you have replaced your smoke alarms in your homes, or replaced the batteries in your smoke alarms in your homes? Okay, good. So that's great to hear. It applies from folks over here because that's a really important thing to do. Okay, smoke alarms help. If they don't have a battery in them and the battery's not working, or if the smoke alarm itself doesn't work, it's not doing any good. So when you're in your home and you go back to your parents or your grandma's, grandpa's, aunts, uncles, whatever, and you tell them, say, hey, I learned something today. We need to replace the batteries in our smoke alarms. And the other thing too is to replace the entire smoke alarm itself if it's 10 years old or older. Those smoke alarms themselves do have an expiration date. And they actually have them printed on the back of the alarm. And it tells you it was manufactured, whatever date, month. And if it's 10 years old or older, you're going to have to replace that entire alarm. And that will help make sure that your family stays as safe as you possibly can keep them when it comes to the fire. All right, so it looks like they are happy with what we've got. All right, crew, are you good with? You're good with that? Everything look good? All right, it's just wet right now. All right, so the one thing that I did tell the students is there's a newspaper at each one of these areas here. Newspaper stayed nice and wet, but nothing else happened to it. When we get done with this side, it's going to be unrecognizable. Okay? So, Dale, I'll have you go ahead and start the other side. I got the fire crew getting ready. All right. So, similar setup. The only thing different in this room is that we do not have a sprinkler system installed for this room. Remember that fire is extremely fast. We already have the ignition. The curtain is already burning. Soon that curtain's going to fall down. That bed's going to start burning. And the fire is going to spread very rapidly. We've got our smoke alarm activated. And you can already see how quick this is burning. At this point in time, you should have been out of the room. You should close that door behind you. And you should be at least notifying everybody else in your building that there is a fire and starting to get people out. So you see that smoke is building. You see how black and thick that smoke is. That smoke is fuel. It's going to keep fueling that fire. As we talked about, a lot of the things we have nowadays are petroleum-based products, all of our furniture, all of our clothes, everything has something petroleum that is built up in there. So now we've got the fire spreading over the top. And that room is igniting. And they now have their sign to go ahead and put out that fire. That fire is continuing to be strong. Now they're going to continue to put that fire out. They're going to make sure that everything in there is done burning. And then you will get the chance to take a look and see the damage. We'll be able to get a few feet away so you can take a look at the room to see how things go. So let's give the Findlay Fire Department a hand for coming out here and helping us out with this demonstration today. They're going to come and help you when you have the problem. We're going to be there for you. And we appreciate them being out here today and helping us out with this demonstration. So once the fire department gives me the high sign that we can go ahead and approach, what we'll do is we'll start on the on the sprinkler side, so you can see the massive devastation and the difference between the two. So once they clear and they give me the sign to let you do it, we will take care of walking you guys through, and we'll stay about 5 feet, 10 feet away, so you're still getting the effect of it.
Great job, guys.
All right, I'm going to let the fire department get all of their equipment and hose everything out of the way, and then we will go ahead and start walking over that direction. Are there any questions from anybody? So the question was, with the fire department and what they use to put the water on the fire, if there was any chemicals in this water that helps it put out the fire. And this answer for this specific is no. There are some, they have foam that they can put on it that they will be able to help with that, but this fire specifically did not have any. It's just straight water, but it is a lot more water. A lot more water.
A lot of our dorms are made with cinder blocks, so like bricks. Is that significantly better than like the wood that's around the outside of the
So you're talking about like the actual walls?
So the question was the difference between the construction on the buildings and the rooms. What we have is drywall and then 2x4s. What you have on your rooms are cinder blocks. Now I don't know if the entire building, each separate room is a cinder block and it's its own little cube. That just means the fire is going to get hotter faster because there's not a lot of different areas for it to go. It's going to be contained. It's like an oven, right? What's your oven made out of? Or your fire pits. When you're at home, you got a nice fire pit. It's made out of cinder block or blocks, something like that. So it's just going to be hotter. But there's not much of a difference there. Anything else? All right. So what we'll do is you can go ahead and start walking. Go over on this side by the sprinkler side, and then just walk around. Keep walking. Take a look at everything. Take it all in. See what's going on there, and then you'll be doing your next items from the university.
How's it going today? Doing good. How are you? Still going. grab one a little bit. Here, you're in the naked. I mean, you already had your room. Well, that's still reading. You already wanted more. That's a good fire reading. Yeah. Oh, I can recognize it. There's a lot of compared to this. Yeah, that's crispy.
It's really only one newspaper total. It's just crumpled up and stuff. So think of by the end of the semester how much paper and junk and stuff. We took out the trash already.
Yeah, no.
So that's what we're getting like packets. So yes, we had it all back there in the corner where the trash can was. So, yes.
Why is there just a square right here?
This is where that newspaper was. That's what we call a protected area. So when we're looking for investigation and all that, when stuff's laying out, we always want to dig down to the bottom of the fire.
I think that one back there was a sock.
That you can tell was protected area.
I didn't know that was protected.
Just that little bit was protected. So, yeah, that's protected area.